Hey, this is Tom and Tim from Thursday.
And we're here in Cedar Grove shooting a PSA for PETA with our adopted dogs.
She holds your hand down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She does that all the time. We're sitting watching TV, she'll come up on the couch and look at you and grab your arm so you'll pet her.
Full stop.
This is my bad side.
I've got a big
You
mole
got it?
over
Dump it?
here.
Parish, I'm powered up over here.
Dexter.
Yeah.
Dexter.
Hey Dexter, you want this? Do you guys want this?
I'm like... Adopting dogs and adopting pets in general has become a pretty big issue. Breeding practices and you think about like designer animals and the whole market of selling animals is kind of a weird thing. It seems like a pretty shady practice, and you think of like stores at malls where they have policies where if pets aren't bought after a certain time, they euthanize them. You can find a loving animal, at a shelter just as well as paying lots of money for some animal who might be suffering because of legal breeding practices or puppy mill situations.
There's like puppy farms where they just have like tons and tons of puppies running around, and it creates a lot of health problems for the dogs too. So then they go to pet stores and no one will buy them because they're sick, and they just get put down anyway. So it's really, I don't know, it seems terrible to let that happen. When we got our dog, it was at the North Shore Animal League in Long Island, and every year they have a puppy adopt-a-thon. Our dog was from Tennessee originally, and they just like brought him up to try to get, find homes for all these dogs. Over the weekend they found homes for like over 250 or 300 dogs, and it's just, it's actually right around this time every year, and it just seems like the right thing to do, if you want a dog.
Yeah, it was funny, we weren't quite sure how to go about finding a pet, so we of course found ourselves looking in all these weird places, and there was actually a store that we went to, and there were cute animals there, really really friendly animals, but the room was really gross and dirty, and they weren't some of them looked like they were sick, and it just seemed it seemed pretty shady. So we decided to start looking at like adoption centers. We went to 3 or 4 different ones around New Jersey, and actually ended up in Newark, and we had seen probably 3 or 4 dogs, all of which were being adopted. As we were falling in love with them, they were being adopted. So which is good because they all found homes, but we were putting ourselves through the ringer, falling in love with these animals, and then the last day that we looked, we weren't even going to go back out, and we decided to go to the shelter in Newark, and we went in there. There were a couple animals, and Kiko was staring through a cage, and yeah, it was easy. We went in, and they did a background check and asked us a bunch of information, and we had to wait another day, but we came back before the doors opened to make sure no one grabbed her, and she's amazing. She was just a stray from the streets of Newark, and she's great.
You go to a lot of shelters, and a lot of the dogs there you actually see are pit bull mixes and stuff like that are probably originally bred for fighting, or there's fighting dogs that have puppies, and they just bring them there. The shelter I went to, they called like 2 references to find out, and they did a background check and everything like that, and just to make sure we could take care of the dog and stuff.
They even go so far as to call, if you're renting an apartment, they call your landlord and they say, is this are you okay with having animals in your leased property or whatever? And yeah, it's really thorough. And they, we were standing there waiting. I think there's a fee. I forget exactly what it was, but it's a minor fee, and we're standing there waiting to pay it. And the guy who was in charge of the paperwork was calling up his boss or something, and he was okaying something with his boss, and he's like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, they look like they're good people. So everyone kind of seems like very concerned with these animals going to a good place, because they see hundreds of them coming in every month, and I think that if they didn't do that, the dogs would just end up in another shelter. It's just like this weird cycle. People think they have a sense of responsibility, and they don't realize like what a responsibility having a pet is, and they undertake it and realize they can't deal, and then the animals end up suffering. So it's good to have people doing their jobs right and being thorough and making sure these animals are going to the right place, to healthy homes.
The
No,
beef?
I mean,
Hey,